Good morning. Today is October 23rd and it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, right? Although, that expression always annoyed me because I think if you're just working for the weekend, there's something wrong. You don't have your purpose, I don't think. I like to think of living your purpose every day. If you have something that inspires you, then you can keep chipping away at it and time dissolves. And this show, my podcast, All the Hats We Wear, will help you to identify your life purpose. So here are some inspirational things from the news. From the New York Times today, there's a movie called Bad Hair. And this is the most excited I've been about a movie in a long time. The premise, I love bad movies, B movies. This one is, of course, about a hair weave that a woman gets that becomes possessed and then possesses her. And whenever she's around blood, if it's like a juicy hamburger, her hair starts to grow longer so that it can latch onto that blood and soak it up. So I need to see that. There was an article about Molly Stern, who was the editor of Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. And she said that she wanted to tend to her own obsessions and figure out how to do it independently. And I love that idea of tending to or curating the inspirations and the obsessions that you have to feed them. Just like in that bad hair needs to feed off of the blood, which reminds me of Little Shop of Horrors too. The plant that liked blood. Anyway, so this idea of curating your passions, hobbies, and interests is really important. And that's a great exercise to try. Take a piece of paper, divide into 3 columns, passions, hobbies, and interests, and brainstorm, try to get 20 items for each one. Now you can divide each one into intensity. So an interest, of course, maybe something you're just would like to dabble in, or maybe I'll try jujitsu one day. And the hobby, of course, something that you're actively doing. And a passion, something that you just can't do without, something you're not content and fulfilled and happy if you're not doing. And that's where we often run into not doing things that bring us so much passion. And then we just find that we're in a general malaise in our life. You've got to curate that like a garden. Another story I liked was an obituary about Marge Champion, who was a dancer in Showboat and a lot of the big 50s dance numbers with Fred Astaire, who was unbelievable. I first heard of Fred Astaire from the horror movie Ghost Story. And he's very old in that. But then when I started looking back at when he was at his prime and young man of dancing, incredible. He did a dance that, I forget the movie, but it was him in a toy shop and drumming and dancing. It was just amazing. Her dance moves were also copied in the Disney classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Pinocchio and a lot of others. They basically used her as a model and filmed her and copied her moves. There was an article about the director Michael Powell, who wrote a very important movie in the 60s called Peeping Tom, which is a really creepy movie. And actually that inspired generations of horror movies and horror directors. And that was basically taking that perspective from the killer or the bad guy. So flipping things around, which I find is inspiring, to find a technique that changes everything. In the Boston Globe today, there was an obituary about the amazing Randi, James Randi, who was a magician and escape artist, very famous. Penn and Teller said basically if there was no amazing Randi, there wouldn't have been Penn and Teller. So he was once quoted as saying, "Magicians are the most honest people in the world. They tell you they're going to fool you, and then they do it." My kids and my wife and I, we always used to watch Penn and Teller's show Fool Us, all magic shows, magic performances. And that was something we could always agree on that we would all enjoy. That and America's Funniest Videos. And I love this idea of a entire career. Penn and Teller are an inspiration as well. that they've been doing this for what, 60 years, 50 years, having their show in Las Vegas. And I'm just inspired by a full, rich career. I think that's what I get most from reading the obituaries. In the Wall Street Journal, there was an article about Danny Elfman and his mansion, which he's now putting on the market for $14.6 million. And his big thing is he has an immense collection of odd collectible things and objects. Could be from a vintage, swap shop. It could be something he spent a lot of money on. And just he has all these things all around his house. And that also taps into that idea of curating your environment for what you need for your inspiration and creativity. He would just have to look through his living room and he sees, a skeleton of an old spider monkey, 3.5 feet tall, and it's on your table. He has lots of taxidermy, even has a small crocodile that juts out of the wall in the living room as you walk in. And I'm sure that he gets a lot of his inspiration from everything that's around him. He's built this environment, a creative environment for him to prosper. I think we need to cultivate our daily environments. As you see in my office, I've got stuff that inspires me. I've got Three Stooges on the wall. I've got a beach scene over here. I've got the ocean there, and that's cool. Friends and family and pictures, the books that inspire me. So it's good to keep that up. There was also a book mentioned called Olfactory Bliss, which is all about the smell and the nose. Now, just getting back to the Danny Elfman thing for a second, there's a lot of ways that you can set yourself up to be productive and do your best work. One example, I posted a bunch of suggestions on my Facebook page about being productive, simple steps to be productive. As you see, I'm factoring in some productivity and time management coaching in this video. Here are some tips. Transcendental meditation, doing your audio journal, having my own day planner helps me. You can ask about it on my website, All the Hats We Wear. It's important to stash notebooks everywhere you might need one. I have them in the car, my wife's car, the basement, on top of my bureau, bedside, a bunch in my office, wherever I might have some ideas, I've got a notebook. You could follow my 7-step stage system for project management. And you can just search on my website to find that. At the bottom of my website on every page is a search bar, and you can just put in project management. You can use music to change your state. I've got some awesome speakers here, M Audio BX5A, and they are really loud. If I need to change my state, I can use that. I have coffee at 6:30 p.m. and that helps me be productive until midnight. I use my electric blankie every day, and I always have the Blade Runner soundtrack to fall asleep to. I only listen to audiobooks while I'm driving because I find I can read a physical book a lot quicker than listening. Don't feel obligated to finish a book or a movie or anything that you're not getting the vibe on. I ditch it right away. There's been plenty of movies that people recommend to me that I know are excellent Academy Award winning movies. I just start watching them. I can tell they're very good, excellent. I'm just not interested. So I bail. And I think that's a good skill. Have a way of never writing the same thing twice, whether it be in a notebook or your system for your to-do lists. That'll help you. And I like to use movies like a battery. I have movie on every night, at least one movie, often in the background while I'm working. It kind of keeps me company, and I check in every once in a while, but I'm not sitting watching it all the time. Sometimes there will be times when I just shut everything off and just watch the movie. And I think I'm about due to do that with the original Alien movie. I know that because I'm starting to whistle the theme song. All right, a couple more stories in the Wall Street Journal. There is an article about the comedian B. Mo the Prince. And it said how he's amassed a huge following on TikTok and Instagram. So I need to follow him, see what he's doing, so I can do some of the same. He has goals for his TikTok followers, and let's take a minute to talk about goals. Did you know there are 4 types of goals? Habit goals, deadline goals, vision goals, and sky's the limit. Of course, habits, you want to create habits, and that's just an instruction for what to do. Meditate for 20 minutes. Very simple. Deadline goal, of course, has that set date. So by March of 2021, I completed the scuba exam certification. A visionary goal I like to have because this is a goal that isn't really measurable. It could be, I'm the most respected time management coach in New England, might be a goal for me. That's not really measurable. Or I'm a visionary, but it's still inspirational. I'm the best dad I can be. Can't measure that, but it's a good thing to aspire to and remind yourself of. I'm a big believer in hovering over your goals and your mission and all these important things, your projects. That's why in my time management daily planner, I've got it all set up where I'll show it to you right here. And actually, I'm always making revisions. I'm about due to go to Staples and get November. So here's a typical one from October. I've got space for the top outcomes of the day. Then I've got just random space and then a little grid to do, what am I doing at that time. And I also have a journal part where this is where I write down all my creative snippets, things I would like to journal about during the day. Then I've got a little thing about projects. Maybe I want to make some progress on my book or my e-course, and I can just remind myself right there. Also, I would love to talk with you about your goals. I am a life coach and I am a productivity expert. You can contact me. My email is scottsnow1234@gmail.com. And let's have a conversation and focus on you and making a list of all your goals. You might not even know what your goals are yet. You have to uncover them. And that might require some help. And I can do that for you. Also, you could call me 774-230-3928 and visit the website, allthehatswewear.com. And I look forward to you following me and hearing about your biggest time management challenges. Thanks.